Hello, dear students, seekers of knowledge and young aspirants. It is my pleasure to welcome you all in this massive open online course. It is offered by IGNOU through the platform of SWAM. It will be immensely helpful for the students of literature. Today we are going to discuss about a great leader, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was born in Porbandar on 2nd October 1869 and died in Delhi on 30 January 1948. He is commonly regarded as one of the greatest men of 20th century. Gandhi was not a professional writer, yet his contribution cannot be ignored. When Mahatma Gandhi was born, the whole India was passing through a turmoil situation. An apostle of nonviolence, he nevertheless led India's struggle against the greatest and most powerful empire in human history. That is why he has been called the father of nation and give the appellation Mahatma or great soul. His work, The Story of My Experiments with Truth, is the most recognized one. The outline of his life is known to every Indian. It's his autobiography, The Story of My Experiments with Truth, reveals the major details about his life. The very title of the book suggests what is perhaps the most important thing in his life. The whole life was lived as an experiment. Gandhi's life was lived according to certain assumptions and in order to demonstrate certain results. Gandhi was himself aware of the dimensions of his life. That is clear from the most quoted well-known statement, "My life is a message." It is truth to which Gandhi's experiments are directed. To Gandhi, Sat is the first component of Satchidanand, that is a Vedic definition of ultimate reality. Shankaracharya and greater philosophers and sadhaks have experimented on this term Satchidanand. According to Gandhi, truth is what exists, what is real. It is the ground of being, it is the substance to which the cosmos is made. Gandhi's life was devoted to search the truth. By learning from mistakes and studying on the self, he achieved it. The story of his experiments with truth is documented in the Gujarati weekly entitled as Navajivan and in English as Young India. Later, it was issued in the format of a book in the year of 1925. Finally, we can come to the conclusion Gandhi's life is a story. Yet, it's not a story cut or dried or lifeless record of data. Gandhi is not a superhuman per se, but superbly human. He is considered as a great modern hero, just as Ram, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, and many others. Now we will talk about the biographical details of Gandhi. After his schooling at Rajkot, he married Kastuba in the year of 1883 and then he left for England. There he went to study law. After qualifying for the bar in 1891, he came back to England but found no satisfactory work. Therefore, he sailed to South Africa in 1983. Trying to work as a lawyer for 2 years after he arrived in India, Gandhi made one of the most radical decisions, and it is his sailing to South Africa. When he sailed to South Africa, it opened his eyes to an extent of injustice prevalent in South Africa. The racist mentality he encountered here was very influential on shaping Gandhi's personality. Here he established a weekly known as Indian Opinion. The period between two world wars comprising them both was the Gandhian age in India, our modern heroic age. The greatness of Gandhi was no sudden overwhelming greatness, but rather the greatness of an ordinary man through a long process of trial and error, aspiration and endeavor, achieved a greatness indubitably his own. Hind Swaraj is the most important work that Gandhi has composed. It is originally written in Gujarati and published in Indian Opinion. Actually, the book gives vivid details of Gandhi's life. The book was composed in the year of 1909 on the deck of S.S. Khiljar. The ship was bringing Gandhi back to South India. Here, he preaches the gospel of love in the place of hate. Among the universal values, the first and foremost priority is given to humanity. Gandhi stated that all his life and struggle was focused on humanity. On this subject, Gandhi expressed that love was the subtlest force in the world. His statement, "Where there is love, there is life," is recognized to have equal level of love for every human being in the world, and it would be a precious example as to love prevailing over the world. In London, Gandhi met every known anarchist. It is recorded that among these was Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, the leading ideologue of the extremist group. Savarkar was a brave and patriotic man who wished to overthrow British rule through violent revolution. It was one such meeting of London that Gandhi met Savarkar and shared a common platform with him. Gandhi and Savarkar had detailed discussion over the means and ends of struggle. Gandhi, unlike Savarkar, was convinced that it was India's unique genius and destiny not to imitate the other nations of the world. India indeed won its freedom through moral and spiritual force. This is superior to material force or force of arms. His understanding of non-violent struggle, especially his emphasis on unwillingness against situations like war that clash with human dignity, has drawn a huge amount of attention. Gandhi, who has made a global fame with his peaceful approach to events and problems and his reconciliatory understanding of solution, is obviously an effective role model in the process related to any problem. He stated that the power produced by non-violence is certainly superior to all kinds of human values produced by human skills. Gandhi says, "When I am frustrated, I remember truth and love have their fall. There is no alternative to non-violence policy. It is the ideal that leads to formation of human and communist world." His message was that an individual can train himself or herself to become transparent and open, and also create synergy and cooperation between education, training, employment and the community, striving for the continuous improvement. The non-violent, tolerant, pacifist and humanistic manner of Gandhi is a globally recognized fact. Besides advocating the non-violent paradigm in educational process, he also emphasized the necessity of employing fundamental universal values. UNESCO's foundation of Mahatma Gandhi's Institute of Education for Peace and Sustainable Development, is one of the best examples that support this fact. Gandhi viewed education not only as a mode of individual development, but also an elevation for society. Social elevation shall abolish class distinction, that thereby ensuring social equality. Hind Swaraj is the magnum opus of Gandhi. This book is written in a dialogue form, the dialogue between an editor and a reader. The editor is none other than Gandhi himself. The reader is a prototype of angry young man. Actually, Gandhi met this angry young man in London and wished to change his behavior. He adopts the dialogic mode because he wanted to write a book which can be put into the hands of a child. Now, this book, the Hind Swaraj, is divided into 20 chapters. The first chapter is known as the Congress and its officials. This chapter, first chapter, entitled The Congress and its Officials, deals with the counsel of editor and the reader. The editor counsels the reader to respect congressmen. Some respectable congressmen are Hume, Wedderburn, Nauraji and Gokhale. Their name is mentioned in the chapter. They lay a foundation for Indian Home Rule or Swaraj. He argues against hating Englishmen. The second chapter is entitled as The Partition of Bengal. The editor says that the real awakening of India took place with the partition of Bengal. Chapter 3, known as Discontent and Unrest, deals with how reforms takes place. Chapter 4 analyzes Gandhi's definition and idea of Swaraj. Chapter 5, entitled as The Condition of England, Gandhi argues that the condition of Europe is not worth copying. If India copies England, she will be ruined. According to Gandhi, the pitiable condition of England is due to the modern civilization under which the nations of Europe are degrading. Gandhi advised to boycott foreign goods, school, colleges, law courts. Foreign products were burned in various places of the country. The sixth chapter, entitled as Civilization. Civilization established the fact that just material well-being is not a mark of civilization. Chapter 7, entitled as Why India Was Lost, deals with the Englishmen have not taken India, we have given it to them. Chapter 8, entitled as The Conditions of India. This chapter unravels India is ground down not under the English hill but under the modern civilization. We are turning away from God. Chapter 9, The Condition of India. It's continued. Railways, here he deals with railways, lawyers and doctors. Gandhi argues lawyers and doctors have impoverished the country. Chapter 9, known as The Condition of India. It deals with the Hindus and Mohammedans. Gandhi argues India is one nation. Hindu and Mohammedans cannot be separated. Chapter 11, entitled as The Condition of India, and it's a continuation. Here he deals with the immorality of lawyers. Chapter 12. It's entitled as The Conditions of India. Here, he deals with the strategy of doctors. Doctors established that medical profession has aided imperialism. Most of the diseases are caused by the lack of discipline and by indulgence. Then it follows what is true civilization. This chapter focuses on civilization. It is a mode of conduct which points out to man on the path of duty. Chapter 14 is entitled as How Can India Become Free? It highlights it is Swaraj when we learn to rule ourselves. Chapter 15, Italy and India. This chapter is a comparison between Italy and India, the West and the East. Unlike Italy, India cannot rise up in armed rebellion. Moreover, it reflects Gandhi's non-violent strategy and his humanity. Gandhi argues, moreover, to arm India on a large scale is to Europeanize it. Chapter 16 deals with the brute force. Here, Gandhi argues brute force deals with the force of love and pity, is infinitely greater than the force of arms. Chapter 17 is entitled as Passive Resistance. In this chapter, the reader asks what historical evidence is there to prove that passive resistance works? The editor replies, it is a method of securing rights by personal sufferings. It is not the weapon of the weak, but actually it requires more courage than the use of the brute force. It doesn't mean that we neglect our bodies. It is our duty to make our bodies too strong. The chapter entitled as Education deals with education is not merely the acquisition of letters, but the building of characters. The effect of the environment on shaping of a character became his basic philosophy. It is noteworthy that he observed and emphasized on the violence-based mentality at schools. Even without any apparent violent setting or violent output, there were or could be various kinds of violence. Teachers could suppress, embarrass and threaten students. Gandhi criticized the formal education process from a standpoint expressing that teachers could do violence-oriented acts with body and language. Gandhi pointed out that the purpose of education was not only to create informed mind, but it should also reveal enlightened soul. The opinion finds place in contemporary education system. In many education systems, students are still seen as an information storage devices. In countries with this mentality, the only goal of individuals are defined as achieving the criteria of success in various examinations and having a status in society by using their knowledge. Gandhi argues Hindus should learn Sanskrit, Muslims Persian or Arabic, and vice versa too. The national language should be Hindi, whether in Persian or Nagari script. Chapter 19 is entitled as Machinery. This chapter deals with the use of machine-made goods by Indians, and Gandhi argues the machine has enslaved the Indians. He says, machine is bad, we must keep this in the mind. Then came the conclusion. Here he establishes moderists and extremists must join hands to work for Swaraj. Thank you to all of you.